Hello, I'm Becky Koenig, former managing editor at the Flat Hat, and with me are Grace Colby and Alyssa Zhu, who are running for SA President and Vice President. Thanks for meeting with us,
Hi.
guys.
Thank you.
Yep. So I guess to start out, why do you want to become SA President and Vice President?
I've been involved in the SA since I was a freshman here, and I just really see it as an opportunity to keep this positive momentum, keeping the SA really open for the students, and just being able to take it to the next level, implementing even more projects. And I just think that I could really make a difference doing it. So that's why I'm a friend.
And as for me, I came here and I was an out-of-state student, so at first William Mary didn't feel like my home at first because I was just still transitioning. There were all these new things about William Mary that I didn't know about, like the use of y'all and all the weather patterns. It was just so different coming from Massachusetts. But then as I let myself open up to all the opportunities that William Mary has, all the student organizations here, the people here, I really started feeling a home. And that's why I want to get involved in the Student Assembly, because I think that I want to make that feeling home for every student on this campus, because I want to improve student life here and make sure that everyone experiences that college experience that they want to. And I really think that through the Student Assembly I can create that change and affect people so that they can experience something great here.
Your campaign slogan, "Celebrate the Experience." What does that mean?
All right. Well, we talked about it for a long time, and after, I was sitting on the bus to New York over spring break, and I was writing out everything that I wanted the Student Assembly to be, and, really just what I was thinking about and what we could do with it. And everything just kept coming back to, celebrating our accomplishments, talking about all of the really incredible things that William Mary students do. It was really just tribe pride. It was so much tribe pride, and I just kept coming back to those things. And so we really think it embodies, everything that we want to do, and just celebrating your college experience and making the most of it. And so I don't know, you want to add?
Yeah, and just making what we experienced here memorable, because everyone comes into college with something that they want to do, whether it's getting really involved in extracurriculars and sports and focusing on academics, and we want the Student Assembly to be able to foster and support what they want to do and what those students really, really want from their college experience here at William Mary.
Yeah, it's also just, again, about that positive attitude, and talking about the Student Assembly a lot of times can be a very negative place. It could be a scary place for students who don't know about it to get involved. And we really wanted to show that we're trying to move away from that attitude, and we're trying to bring something that all the students can relate to, and just making it just work better for students.
What do you think is the most important issue the Student Assembly faces right now?
The Student Assembly faces a lot of issues. I think probably the most important, well, I don't know if I would necessarily call this an issue, but I think the mental health attitude on this campus is something that isn't talked about that much, and I think that it's something that the students, I'm saying this over and over and over again, but the Student Assembly really sets the tone for student life here. And I think that we have the idea to create a peer counseling program, which we were both peer counselors in high school, and it was something that was a really positive experience for us, and it was just really helpful. And so I think that's one of the initiatives that I really want to do. And so our whole thing about just creating this happier place where we can all be proud to be William & Mary students, I think hopefully will foster a better mental health attitude on campus, and people will, sort of start relating to William & Mary in a different way. So I don't know, that's something that's just really important for me. The Student Assembly deals with so many things, it's hard to say what the biggest issue that they deal with is. Obviously there's the biggest way that most students interact with the Student Assembly, at least in my experience, is through
the
funding.
The funding,
yeah.
And we really just want to make sure that people know about the Student Assembly and just reach out to all the students on campus, especially student organizations, and so that they know that they can come to the SA for funding, for for just like going to events and things like that.
And for help talking to the
Services.
administration.
Yeah,
Like,
like policy changes, like everything, because the student assembly does so much, and we really want to make sure that students know about that.
That is an issue that students have raised in the past, that they feel that the student assembly is not transparent enough. It's something that comes up, year after year,
Right,
election
yeah.
after election. Do you think that's an issue, and how do you propose to address this concern that students have?
Did you
Oh,
want to
sorry.
start?
I think that they've done a really great job this year with, improving that transparency. They've put the budget on the website, and they've been trying to reach out to more organizations. But I think it's something that we can definitely improve upon. And what Grace and I keep saying is that we want to build on the momentum that the student assembly has accomplished in the past, and we want to keep reaching out to students through, just being more visible. I guess like through our Facebook website, through emails, surveys. And so we really want to make sure students know that they can come to us and that we're here for them.
Yeah, and I think that one of the hardest things with the transparency issue, I think it is definitely an issue, and it always will be. But I think a lot of that is from, it's hard to get students to pay attention a lot of the time when, a lot of what we do is not very interesting. Or it's just, you need a lot of background knowledge to be able to sort of like know what each step is and know what's going on at that time. So I think we have a lot of ideas to put like an abbreviated version of the student handbook online and make a really, really like great graphic explanation of the finance process so that people can visually see how this all works. So they'll have that background knowledge, and then it'll be a lot easier to put ideas and put updates out there, and so people will like really like know what's going on and it'll make sense to them rather than just saying like, oh yeah, you can come to Senate meetings, but like nobody wants to come to a Senate meeting. Like that's not good. Like if they don't have an issue that's there, then they won't know. Like they won't have a reason to like go and get that information. So that's we really just want to like put it all out there all the time.
And just in terms of policy and things like that, we just want to make sure that people understand what they're reading, because sometimes policy is really hard. There's a lot of terms and a lot of wordiness, and so we want to cut that down and kind of present their information in a way that students can understand.
Yeah, getting rid of like some of the jargon, and like a lot of times there are just like a million acronyms in like especially with like Williamsburg issues and things like that, and it can be really daunting and hard to understand if you've never read your issue of the flat hat, seeing what that's all about. So
speaking about encouraging students to apply for funding and things like that, the SAI does deal with a very large amount of money, and it comes from student fees, and students are always concerned about where their dollars are going. Do you have any thoughts about how the SAI has handled money in the past as finance chair, and what plans do you have for perhaps reallocating money or any new initiatives that would change the budget around a little bit?
yeah, I think that the student assembly the past couple of years has done a pretty good job with like whenever we're thinking about doing something that's going to require a lot of money. For example, the Charter Day concert. We put out surveys just to see, was this an accessible event? Do people really want to do this? Are they okay with paying, a few more dollars to be able to have this kind of concert? And vast majority of the students say that they are really happy with it and like would be okay with paying like, I think it was $4 to $7 more was the word was in the survey. So I think continuing to do that and just like making sure if there are any like big changes that we're going to be making, getting student input on it. And then for me, I just finished the budget, so that was a huge weight off of my shoulders because we took it's a really long process that starts at the end of the fall semester, and we the Executive Appropriations Committee meets with the clubs. They hold hearings for all of the clubs that apply for funding. They deliberate, then it goes to the president of the student assembly, then it goes to the chair of the Senate, and then it goes to the finance committee, where we have the opportunity to to make any changes that we see like aren't maybe consistent with things in the past and stuff like that. But this year we this year we had appeals for clubs who had applied for funding, and were able to speak with them and work one-on-one with people to figure out what would work. I also was able to reallocate. We end up with like some large number that's usually $600,000 or more, and then that's not like a round number, that's evenly divided by 6,900, so there's this extra fee that gets added in that's just literally a balancing number. So this year, instead of having that, that's like literally just going to nothing, we were able to take that piece of it and reallocate it to the activity and event fund, which is a fund that groups can apply to throughout the year. So that was really great, just getting more money there without having to increase the fee at all. So, I think doing more of that and just like doing more like one-on-one outreach and getting people to have a conversation, because that's where you are able to make the best decisions. So I don't know if you have any input on finance. It's kind of my area of expertise.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the students who will be voting?
I guess just that, we are here to help you. We are here to advocate for you and make William & Mary the best place it can be. So
Yeah, and we just want to make this place a really. We want to make it a great place.
we want to make it a happy place.
Yeah, we want to make
bursting with pride.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.